We are discussing about form controls. What is the purpose of form controls? It is mainly used to get the input from the users. So you are having a different form controls to get the input from the user. So already we had seen that what is the syntax for the form, that is less than, what is the name of the form? This is the tag name, form. Within the form you will write the different form elements. After that you close the form tag. So what are the different form elements? That is a text input controls, checkboxes, radio buttons, next select box, next file select box, and next different submit and reset buttons. So we already discussed what is meant by a text input control. The text input controls, you are having three types of text input controls. They are text field, password field, and text area. So what is the purpose of text field? So it is mainly used to get a single line of input from the user. So here what is the tag you have to use? That is input tag. With the help of input tag you are able to create a text input control. So how the output will be? Like this. You will get a text box. Within the text box you can insert any string like ABC. So if you give a single line of input through the text box. So for this you need a tag called input tag. So next, what is the purpose of password field? It is also used to take the single line of input. But what is the difference between text field and password field? Mainly it will mask the characters whatever you are entering in the text field. So with the help of this syntax you will get a text field, but whatever the characters you will enter in the password field, they will be masked automatically. Nothing but you will get some bullets or dots or stars. Like this you will mask the characters in the password field. So how to create the password field? Again with the help of input tag. But what is the difference between corresponding text field and the password field? Here you have to give type equal to password for the password field, but the text field you have to give type equal to text. Next, if you see this example, if you see in this GIF image, here I am having two fields. One is the text field and the other is the password field. The text field will take any number of characters. While entering the text field you can get only a single line of input. Whenever you are entering the text in the password field, the characters will be masked automatically, and after that clicking the button the data will be sent to the backend. Next field is the text area. So when you will use the text area field. So the text area is required to give details that is more than a single line. If you want to get more than single line of input from the user, then you have to use the text area. So what is the syntax for the text area? That is text area. So name of the tag is text area. It is having two attributes, that is rows and columns. So what is the syntax for the text area? So you have to use the tag called text area, and it is having two attributes, that is rows and columns. Nothing but it will give the height and width of the corresponding text area. So what will be the output? If you see here, you will get a large rectangular box for the text area. So this is nothing but number of rows, and this is the number of columns you can mention in the corresponding syntax. So this is the example we had discussed about the text input controls. So here you created two text fields, input type equal to text field, and one more password field, that is type equal to password, and next you created a text area. So in the output this is called as label. So remember that you can write the label with the help of a label tag, or directly you can write the content within the form. So you must write all the controls within the form tag. So opening the form tag and closing the form tag. So all the controls must be written inside the form tag. So what will be the output here? So based on this content, so in the output first you will get the label. So what is the label here? User ID. Next, what is this thing? This is the creating a text area. Sorry, you are creating a text field, because here you had given type equal to text. So you will get the text field here. nothing but it will take a single line of input from the user. So what is the next control you have taken? So that is password. This is the label. What is the next you have taken? Input type equal to password. So you will get a text field, but what type of text field it is? It is a password field. So whatever the content you will enter in this field, it will be masked. So here you can enter any text. So what is the third control you have taken? You have taken text area. So here you can mention number of rows and columns. Either I can give 5, 5 or 10, 10. Like that you can give values to the corresponding text area. So based on that, so what is the label you had given here? Description. So description, and then you are creating the text area. So this is the text area. So when you will use the text area, if you want to take multiple line of input from the user, you have to take the text area. So what is the content I had written inside the text area tag? Text area tag. So what are the content I will write here? It will be displayed inside the text area control. So what is the content I had written here? That is enter description. So it will be shown here. Enter description. So like this it will be displayed when you are run this file. After that, close the text area, close the form tag, close the body, close the HTML. Now see the output for this program. So already we discussed that this is the label followed by the text field, next label, password field, next label, this is the text area. So this is about the text controls. So what is the next control you are going to discuss in this controls? That is radio buttons. So next control in the form controls is radio buttons. So when you will use this type of control in the form field. So radio buttons are used when out of many options, if you want to select only one option, at that time you have to use this radio buttons. So they are also created by using a tag called input tag. So how to create these radio buttons? Again you have to use the syntax input tag. Input tag. But what will be the difference between the other tags and this tag? Here again you have to give type equal to radio. If you want to create a radio button, you must give type equal to radio. So what is the purpose of name attribute? So this is the name given to your radio button. Nothing but this is the name given to your corresponding control. So radio buttons are having different attributes, like what is the type. So what is the value you have to give to the type? If you want to create a radio button, for the type you have to get, always you must set to radio. If you want to create a radio button, you must give type equal to radio. And what is the purpose of name attribute? So it is the name given to the control. So what is meant by control? Control is nothing but a form control. Nothing but either it may be a radio button or a checkbox or a text field like that. Next, what is meant by the value? So it is the value that will be used at the back end. So nothing but value of the corresponding control. Either you can set on or off. Next, what is meant by checked? So it is set to checked if you want to select it by default. So whenever you run the form, if you want to get the value already highlight, already checked, at that time you have to use the attribute checked. If you see here, this is the GIF image showing 4 radio buttons. So at a time you are able to select only one radio button. So that is the main purpose of this form control. If you see here, this is the example for creating a radio button. So where you have to write the form controls, within the body you have to start the form tag. So within the form tag only you are able to write this form controls. So here I am creating 2 radio buttons. So input type equal to radio and input type equal to radio. Nothing but I am creating 2 radio buttons. So now I have to give the label to the corresponding controls. So what is the label I am giving here? So first radio button I am giving the name Max, and for the next radio button I am creating the name Physics. After that, close the corresponding form, close the body and close the HTML. So what will be the output? So initially you created the radio button. So you will get a radio button followed by the label. So you get a label. Next again you created a radio button and next a corresponding label. Like this you will get the control in your browser. Next control you are going to discuss in the form controls is checkboxes. So when you have to use this type of checkbox. So checkbox are used when more than one option is required. If the user want to select more than one option, at that time we have to use this checkbox control. So how to create the checkbox? Again you have to use the tag called input tag. So what will be the difference? So where you have to change the mark. Within the type you have to give type equal to checkbox for creating the checkbox control. So if you see here type input type equal to checkbox. And these are the common attributes for every tag. So again we are going to discuss about all these attributes. So what is a type attribute? You must give type equal to checkbox. Next name, you use to give a name to the control. And next what is the value? It is the value of the corresponding control. Next checked means, so it will be set to checked whenever you run the program. Automatically the corresponding control will be checked by default. If you see in this GIF image, here I am having 4 checkbox. How the checkbox will look like? So it will be a rectangular box with a tick mark. If you give checked equal to on, then automatically this will be get checked whenever you run the program. Okay. If you see here, at a time you are able to select multiple options. So that is the main purpose of these checkboxes. So this is the example for the checkbox. So again you have to write this control within the form tag. So here again I am creating 2 checkboxes same as the radio button and I am giving a label to the corresponding checkbox. Okay. So see the output. So you got a checkbox followed by the label, checkbox followed by the label. You are able to select the corresponding options. So at a time you can select 2 or more. So next control you are going to discuss in the form controls is select box. So what is the purpose of select box? A select box is also called as a drop down box. So other name for the select box is drop down box. So it will contain it will provide various options. So user may want to select the single option within the multiple options. At that time you have to use the select box. So how the select box will look like? If you see, it will have a list option. It will have a list option. Whenever you click here, you may get a list of items. So item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. Select option. So the user want to select any one option, at that time you have to use this select box. So the syntax for the select box is you have to use a tag called select. It is an attribute called name. So name is nothing but the name you want to give to the corresponding control. So within the select you are having multiple tags, nothing but multiple options. So to display these options you need a tag called option tag. So this option tag is having the value. So value is nothing but value of the corresponding tag. So what is the overall syntax? If you see here, select. Either if you want to give name or not, it's your it depend upon you. You can simply give like this, select followed by different option tags. Within the first tag option, I am giving item 1. Item 1 / option. You can give multiple options like this. After that, close the corresponding select. So this is the syntax for the select box. So this is the example for the select box. So here again you can write the code within the form tag. So this is the select. You are giving multiple options. So how many options I am giving in this select box? Totally I am giving 4 options. So what is the first option? It will show select color. What is the second option? Red. Next to green and next to blue. So what will be the output? So this is called as select box. So what is the first option you had given here? Select color. select color. And next, what are the other options? Whenever the user click here, it will show a drop down list, that is like this. So what is the first one? Red color. Next green. Next blue. But if you see here, I had already given that this is selected. Nothing but whenever you click here, it will be selected automatically. Again, if you want to change other options, you can select. But when you give here selected, then it will be highlighted in the corresponding drop down list. So see the output. This is the output. This is the select box. Whenever the user click here, it will show a drop down list. So already we had given a green as selected. That's why it had been highlighted in the select box. So next you are going to discuss about a file select box. So what is the purpose of the file select box? If you want the user to upload a file into your browser, nothing but if you want to take an input from the user as a file format, at that time you have to use this file select box. So if you want to allow the user to upload a file, if you want the user to upload a file into the browser, at that time you have to use this file select box. So how to create this file select box? Again you have to use the input tag. So what is the difference? Mainly the main difference is you have to change here the type equal to file. If you compare to the other things, so for the text field you are giving type equal to text, and for the password you had given type equal to password. For the corresponding checkbox, type equal to checkbox, and for the radio buttons you had given type equal to radio. In the same way here you have to give type equal to file. Then only you are able to create a file select box. So attributes for the file select box are name. So what is the purpose of name? It is a name given to the control. Next, accept. So already we are telling that you are allowing the user to upload a file. User may allow to upload a file. Nothing but a file may be a document, or it may be a PDF file, or it may be an image. So what type of files it had to accept? Nothing but the browser. So what is the purpose of file select box? You are allowing the user to upload a file into the corresponding browser. So nothing but here you have to use a tag called input tag. What you may have mentioned in the type attribute, type equal to file. It is having two attributes, name and the accept. Name is nothing but it is a control. It is a name given to the control. Where what is meant by accept? So it is able to accept different types of files. Now, nothing but it may be an image file, or it may be a PDF file, or it may be a document. So like this, we are having two attributes discussed in this file select box. So next example for the file select box. So again you have to write this control within the form tag. Next here input type equal to file. So what type of files it is accepting? So it is accepting all type of files, including image file or any document or any PDF. So what will be the output? So in the browser you will get a button. So it will browse the corresponding files. If you once you click on the corresponding button, then it will browse in your system for the corresponding file. So if you see here, this is the output displayed in the browser. So you will get a button like this, choose file. So whenever the user click on this button, then it will open within your system, and there you will search for the what are the file you want to upload within the browser. So next control you are going to discuss is about button controls. So there are various ways to create HTML buttons. So here you are using a tag called input tag to create a button. So based on changing the values of the type attribute, you are able to create multiple buttons. If you give type equal to submit within the input tag, if you give type equal to submit, if you give type equal to submit, it will create a button of type submit. If you give type equal to reset, so again within that input tag, type equal to, you have to give reset. Next for the image tag, again you have to give type equal to image. Then it will create a clickable image button. So if you see in this output, if you see in this GIF image, here I am selecting the any one option, and after that I can click the submit button. Then the value will be forwarded to the backend. So what is the purpose of reset? So it will clear all the selected options in your form. So this is the program for the buttons. If you give type equal to submit, it will create a submit button, and if you give type equal to reset, it will create a reset button. So what is meant by reset? It will clear all the options in your form. Next, if you give type equal to image, then it will create a clickable image button. So these are the names you are giving on your corresponding buttons. So this is the output. So here you created a clickable submit button. This is the reset button, and this is the clickable image button. So the last control you are discussing in the form controls is field set. So what is meant by a field set? So field set are used to enclose a group of controls. If you want to group a certain controls, then you have to use this field set. So for the field set, you are having a tag called legend tag. So what is the purpose of this legend tag is, if you want to by the help of field set, you are able to group the controls. So this is one control and this is one control. Control is nothing but this is a text field and this is a text field. So with the help of field set, you are able to group these controls. If you want to give a name to this field set, you have to use a tag called legend. So this will be seen in the example clearly. So you can also create a label on the form by using a label tag. So if you see the program, within the form tag I have written the field set. So what is the purpose of field set? It will group the certain set of controls. So if you see here within the field set, I am taking two controls. What is the first control? So one text field. What is another control? One more text field with two labels. What is the first label? Name, and second label is mobile. So see the output generally how it will look like. So name. So this is one text field. Next mobile. This is one more text field. So here you are grouping these two controls with the help of field set, and you are giving a name to that field set, that is client details. So it will come like this, client details, and you will get a border like this. You will get a border like this, nothing but you are grouping a set of controls. So this is the field set. So see the output. If you see here, you are grouping two controls, that is a text field and this text field. So here you are grouping these two controls and giving a name client details with the help of this legend tag. Okay. So this is the output. In this output I am using all the controls up to now what you had discussed. If you see here, just see here in this output I am displaying some controls on the browser. So what is the first field you are seeing here? So what is the first field you are seeing here? It is a label followed by the text field. Again one more label followed by the text field. Again label followed by the text field. And here I am creating a radio buttons, two radio buttons. So radio button, when you have to use the radio button, if you want to select only a single value. Generally for the gender you will select either male or female. Next, if you take one more text field, that is a drop down list, nothing but a select box. So if you click here, it will display multiple options. Next, enter label. Again I am writing the text field. Next same, this is the label followed by the text field. Again label, text field. At last I am creating a button. So based on this output, you have to write the code using all the controls. So for this output I had given the code. So this is the code for the previous output. First of all, you have based on the output you must able to write this program. Then after only you have to check whether the code you had been written is correct or not. So here this is the code for the previous output. So where you have to write the form controls within the form tag. So where you have to write the form tag within the body. So for the form tag I had given a name gform, and next after that you have to write the corresponding labels and text controls. So what is the first label? Student name followed by the text field. Input type equal to text. Next register number, again you have to give a text field. Next email, text field. So it will create 3 labels and 3 text fields in the output. So what is the next control I had given? That is radio button. So for the radio button, so I am giving the label, and next if you want to create the radio button you have to give input type equal to radio. So what is the name I had given here? Male. Next radio button, female. So like that you are creating 2 radio buttons. Next I am writing the other label, that is select branch. Next for the drop down list you need a select box, that is select tag. Select followed by different options. So what are the options I had given? CSE, ECE and IT. So whenever you will see the corresponding select box, if you click here it will display the items like CSE, ECE and IT. Like this it will display the options in your browser. So what is the next things? Again label, one more text field. Again same, again you have taken a text field. Next label, text field. At last you created a button. So how to create a button? You have to give input type equal to submit. So what type of button I am creating? Type equal to submit. So this is about the program for the previous output. So now you are going to discuss about marquee tag. If you see in this slide, you are seeing a text scrolling on the PPT. If you want to make scroll text on your web page, if you want to make a text scroll on your web page, then you have to use the tag called marquee tag. So what is the name of this tag? Marquee tag. If you want to make text scroll on your web page, then you have to use a tag called marquee tag. It is mainly used for scrolling a piece of text in your browser. So how to create this marquee tag? So what is the name of this tag? Marquee. So here within the opening tag you will write the set of attributes, and what is the text you want to make scroll? It will be written inside the opening tag and the closing tag. So the text must be written inside the opening tag and the closing tag. So the attributes for this marquee tag are width. So it will specify the width of the marquee. Next height. This will specify the height of the marquee. Nothing but width is nothing but, so this will be the width between the text. Next height means this will be the height, how font it will appear on the web page. Next direction, in which direction you want to make the text scroll on your web page. Generally it may be up or down, left or right. In these directions you can scroll your text on the web page. Next loop. Loop is nothing but how many times you want to make to scroll on the web page. Generally the value will be infinite. Continuously it will scroll on the web page. Next BG color. Nothing but a background color. If you see in this previous example, here I had given a background color to the corresponding text. Okay. So width is nothing but the space between the characters, and width is height is nothing but this is the height of the corresponding text. So that's about the marquee tag. The last topic you are discussing in the HTML tags are block level and inline elements. So what are the block elements? So the elements which add a line break. So whenever you are using this type of elements in your web page, generally they will start in the new line. So examples for these block elements are p tag, heading tags or different list tags. All these tags comes under block elements. So wherever you will use these tags, they will start automatically in the new line. For example, if you use h1 tag in the program h1 head1. Generally I am saying an example for this block elements slash h1. Next tag I may take h2, head 2. So what will be the output of these two tags? Generally they will come in a new line. So in the output, if you see in the output, first head 1 will be displayed. Next tag will be displayed in the new line, that is head 2. They won't come side by side. Wherever you will use these tags, they will start in the new line. Okay, that's about block elements. So the one more tag in the block elements is div tag. So div tag will create a logical division. If you see in this example, so within the body I am using a div tag. So I am applying the style to the div tag. So if you see, the opening of div tag is here and this ending is here. So this is one division. So if it will make the logical divisions in your web page. So for this whole tag, I am applying the style color equal to red. And I am taking one more division section. Here I had taken one more list. So here for this section I am giving the color green. If you run this output, so for the first list I had applied the color red, and for this I have applied the color green. So within the same page you are applying a divisions with the help of div tag. Next inline elements. So the inline elements, they don't break the text. For example, if you take a B tag, what is the purpose of B tag? So whatever text entered in the B tag, they will appear in bold letters. For example, I had written bold slash B. Next tag I had taken, that is P tag, para. After that close the P tag. So they don't break the text before and after wherever you are using in the, for example, this had been written in the HTML. Next body. So close the body, close the HTML. So what will be the output? So displaying these two tags, bold. So this won't start in the new line. So this text also will come beside this text. After the bold you will get para. Nothing but these inline elements, they won't start in the new line. So some of the examples of inline elements are B tag, italic, U tag, strong, SUP, nothing but superscript and subscript, LI tag, DEL tag, span tag. These are some of the examples for the inline elements. So this is the end of HTML. Thank you.